Carolyn Fazio, Chair and Chief Executive of Fazio International, met with Jim LeBaron, Senior Vice President of the Stanford Group, to discuss the financial performance of the Foundation's investments and strategy for Electri International's future growth.
The Foundation has spent so much time on raising the money and on putting the projects together, but one of the things that you and I both know is that people are very, very interested in figuring out, what have you done for us? Where are we? How are we doing financially? And I know that that's what you spend your time on in your role with the Foundation. Where are we?
Well, we've got 1 year under our belt. We started the end of December 2005. 2006 was a good year. We finished with right around $17.5 million under management. That was an increase of $2.3 million for a return of about 15.5% for the year. So we had a very good year.
You know, a lot of foundations seem to think that 5% return is good, 6% return is good, and you're telling us that Electri International is doing much better than that.
4 to 6% really isn't acceptable for an organization like Electri in that you're barely outpacing inflation. The dollars invested long term to keep the organization going really in perpetuity, so we have to earn a return significantly above inflation and to earn the money that Electri's spending doing the good work that they're doing.
One of the things that we've heard Bob Bruce, the new chairman of the Electri Council, talk about is his goal and vision for taking the Foundation to a portfolio that would be at least in the range of $25 million over the next 5 years. Is that feasible?
Absolutely. It's feasible through kind of a partnership between the money management as well as the Foundation in continuing to raise money.
How is this Foundation doing overall by comparison to the portfolios of some of the other foundations that you manage?
I think we're doing better than most foundations. Typically, a foundation of this size would have their portfolio allocated 45% stocks, 45% bonds, 10% cash. That allocation this year would have earned somewhere around 10.5%. We did substantially better than that through additional allocations to real estate, commodities, etc.
What do you see in terms of the future for institutional investments like this? You're not just dealing with one person and their own little $50,000 investment or even a $5 million investment. These are big dollars and people are concerned about where you're putting their money.
Well, we're very concerned about that too. We understand deeply that the Foundation really is critical in Electri continuing to do the good work that the Foundation does. Because of that, we've diversified the portfolio between stocks, bonds, cash, real estate, commodities, hedge funds. We're very, very diversified.
So how does your company, or how does any good company, really take a look at that? And is there something different that you're doing for this foundation that makes that an even more important element? First,
we determine the allocation based in working with Russ and the investment task force, looking at the risk returns and certainly the return needs of the foundation. And then Stanford, we have a staff that looks at correlation between asset classes and returns, and that's how we developed the target allocation model.
But do you have specific economists and financial types and political types that are coming together to give you advice before you can give us advice?
Absolutely. That's one of the advantages I think that Stanford has, is we have the traditional research analysts. We also have buy-side analysts doing research around the globe to find good investment vehicles for the firm's money. And then on top of that, we layer in policy research out of Washington. So we're looking not just at the bottoms-up research, we're also looking top-down, making sure that the investment thesis makes sense with what's going on politically, certainly in this country.
How important is it for this foundation to have an investment task force? I mean, they have an investment policy in hand. Do they also need individuals that are there?
Absolutely. I think that the investment task force gives a little more hands-on and detail to make sure that the investment portfolio is invested taking the appropriate risk for the return needs of the organization. And that's important because it keeps, I look at the relationship that Stanford has with Electri really as a partnership. And the investment task force is an important component of that, to making sure that the organization really understands how the money is being invested.